seems a long way away from the reality as I've met it in post offices, Mr. Emett. Do you mean that this is really what goes on behind the scenes?
Well, do you know, I really believe that it is. At least that's my impression, and I should like to think that it is, and keep that. Here, for instance, you have coloured telephones. Well, we all know coloured telephones, and delightful they are, but somebody's got to do them.
And this is the man who does them?
And I think that's the man that does them.
With his brush?
And telex. Well, that's another thing. That's a thing I don't fully understand myself, but I know that if somebody bangs away on little keys in an office, hundreds of miles away, the same thing can come out in somebody else's office. And this is the somebody else over here.
Yes. What's the wing for?
Well, this magic carpet is fully airborne.
I see. This doesn't mean the post office gets some flap.
Absolutely unflappable. Well, this is Lulu. Now, Lulu represents subscriber trunk dialing, which is, I believe, a very, very easy and simple thing nowadays to get all kinds of distances. It must be. She never stops talking, and she's even invited Sweetie Pie here to have a go.
She's the typical subscriber, you think, with a box of chocolates and the...
Now, that I'm not going to say. All I will say, there should have been a paperback novel by Ethel Emdale down on the carpet here. That's the welfare state, of course, up there.
Ah, the big umbrella.
The happy families suffused under the beams from this sunflower and all the lovely benefits.
But where does the post office come in this?
Well, I think they administer all the paperwork and the pensions and the this and that, don't they?
So we're at the tail of the magic carpet, are we now?
Yes, a rather familiar but slightly jet-assisted tail, but...
What is it, a pillar box?
It's a pillar box, yes.
Next collection soon.
Yes, well, that's fair enough, isn't
it? Yes.
The gentleman on the top, he's a little bit more unfamiliar. I think this represents the newest post office art of all. This rather sort of Wimbledon action that he's got here. He's alleged to be bouncing messages up to satellites, which you see up at the top here.
Yeah.
And one satellite, I believe, has got a trainee satellite. But here she comes, yes, which I think that little thing will take over the orbit at a later date. Ah, and of course this was undersea cable, you see, properly knitted, cable stitch and everything else. And this is the chap that did it.
Yeah.
A rather suburban diver, as you can see with his lace curtains. This links continent to continent with his knitted cables.
What's the man up here doing?
Well, he's the sort of man in command, in charge, if you like.
Mr. Bevins.
Well, we mention no names because we don't want this to carry it, but he's got a very firm hand on the wheel, whoever he is,
yes.
And he's looking forward to the future.
And rather leaning backwards, too.
Well, he's leaning backwards to see where he's come from. There's nothing like a little bit of retrogression. Post Office Savings Bank, of course, here. The other end of the telex. More wings, completely unflappable. And this, I think, counter service here is represented by Miss Emily Counterfoil in her village post office. And she appears to be selling a dog license to a rather old and valued customer, and what looks like a premium bond to a rather new and hopeful one.
He seems very delighted by it, kicking his leg backwards.
I think he has a sort of a little half semi-sword dance that he does. It's rather fetching, don't you think? Flowers by telephone here, which is rather pretty. And of course, this is the bit that this is the telegraph boy. Greetings telegrams, complete with cool cat, music and what have you.
And the birthday cake on the front.
And the birthday cake on the front.
The only thing that seems to be missing from this, Mr. Emett, is that counter, you know, that always drops its shutter just as it's your turn in the queue. Is there a man on there who does that?
I think that sort of thing had better be left right out of it. I think that's a thing that's not going to be perpetrated.
You've been thought of for a good many years as a cartoonist. Now, why have you turned full-time to this whimsical engineering?
Well, you know, it is cartooning. It's only cartooning in 3 dimensions. These are, I think, just an extension of the sort of drawings I like to do.
And you like this period, this rather quaint, old-fashioned...
I love it, yes. I don't know why. I always find myself drawing back to that period or getting into it.
Does this over-the-rainbow lamp that you've invented have crocks of gold at the end of it for you? Has it got a commercial application?
It does very nicely, thank you. Like that. Well, I don't know. We've made, I personally, my little company have made a number of these things, and they've been all over the world. We've just had 2 touring in Australia. They've come back. Now they're going to America. People seem to like it.